Good morning. Good morning. We know the mic's on when the good morning comes back at me. Wonderful. I'm Tom Lee Judas. I use he, him pronouns, and I serve this congregation on the Leadership Development Council and also the Circle Conversations, also known as Connection Circles. This morning, I am the worship associate. Welcome to our special place. We welcome especially those joining us for the first time. We live stream our services on YouTube, and our recordings are saved in UUCQC, the YouTube channel. If you don't want to appear in the recordings, you can sit under the owl's nest by the bookshelves because the camera is above you. We invite everyone to join us downstairs after the service for coffee. Thank you for joining us this morning. Also, this is the first of the month, and I will be with you on the first of the month as a worship associate each month, and part of my joyful obligation is to share our covenant pledge with you. Loving kindness guides us as we come together in a spirit of generosity, respect, and empathy, mindfully aware of each other's inherent dignity and worth.
A brief note on the program. After the order of service and the slides went to press, I had second thoughts about the order of things, so I'm switching the prelude and the postlude. I'll begin with the Burt Bacharach song recorded by the Stylistics, and that way nobody has to follow Ravel.
Good morning. I love that little ending, like a tickle up the back of your spine. It just felt so good. Thank you. There we go. Oh, I'll get it later then. Okay, my name's Alice Martin. I am leading today's service. The religious service team chose for our summer theme the theme of journey. It's left to our imaginations and what's within us to evolve into something that we could use as our service. Today's the first Sunday we begin that theme, and it will end at the end of August. The Oxford Dictionary definition of journey as a noun is traveling from one place to another. So in a sense, we all took that journey from our home to here. So we got that one covered. But used as a verb, journey is much more open-ended. It says to travel somewhere. There is no definite place to start or to end. It's almost a movement, a phase, an action time found in living life that we define and we give purpose to by how we live it. As many people who have ever lived equals as many stories there are of journey. We all take our own. So as I'm thinking of what aspect of journey I might want to talk about this morning, wake up, I get my coffee while I go to the restroom, and I look in the mirror and I see this strange face of someone I have never seen before looking at me, and I'm thinking, who the hell is she? And then, because there's nobody behind me, I realize it's me. The question is, how did I get to look like this? How did I get to be in my 70s? So my journey as a verb has taken me through various phases of living, and now I am in the elderly or the senior phase of my life. Today, we are blessed with 6 seniors who are going to do their reflection on this phase of that journey, of the wisdom gained and the surprises it still holds. To open our service, Maureen Bennett, another senior friend, will start us off with the reading.
Good morning. I'm Maureen Bennett, and I've been a member of this congregation since the beginning of the year. Life is amazing. Life is hard. I've always had some awareness of this, but as I embrace being a crone, I am more fully aware of the depth of these observations. How do we go forward in joy and in grief? We do it together. We do it as community. We cannot predict what the fates will bring. We can only find strength and hope and survival with each day and in each other. There will be new dreams one day. Oh, I just lost my place, sorry. There will be reasons to go on. Let in the truth. Embrace the real. Open your arms to the things that you did not look for. You will find what you did not seek. You will be given what you did not even know you lacked. And you will be lavished with a joy that takes your breath away. Here are the riches next to you. Here in the faces of your friends, in the laughter of the children, in the tenderness of those you love and work and live with. This is community. This is our beginning and our end. This is the best of everything we are. May you be present. May you be your best. May you be at peace.
Amen.
Thank you, Maureen. Let us light our chalice. Let us recite the words together as on the screen, possibly, or in the order service. Out of the darkness, light. Out of the light, warmth. Out of the warmth, joy. Out of the joy, togetherness. May this flame hold us for a time we are here with one another. May we please rise in body or spirit for our opening song. Lyrics will be on the screen, and it is page 1067 in the blue, teal hymnal. May all rise. In the spirit of love and fellowship, we now greet our neighbors as holy in our midst, after which the kids will go downstairs. Okay, let's go greet.
Oh, shoot.
Hello.
Good morning. I am Andrea Gilman, a member of Pastoral Care Team, and as we gather today, we pause to reflect on what lies in our hearts. In this time of sharing, we take a moment to recognize our personal joys and sorrows, and to read from the book of Joys and Sorrows those personal life events you have chosen to share with us. Do we have anything from our online attendees? I'm guessing to my friends up in the Owl's Nest. Very good. In our book of personal joys and sorrows, we have Tom under a sorrow, Big Beautiful Bill, which will affect our lives and our family. I think we all share your sentiment. Thank you. And for our friend Ann Harrington under sorrow, please keep Diane and her new family in your thoughts as they grieve the loss of Sam's grandmother. And I, Andrea, have a sorrow. My daughter, who has lived the last 10 years in Los Angeles, Alexa, has made the decision to leave. She has had the trauma of watching ICE raids around her, watching people that are citizens be taken into custody brutally, and she is a brown girl, and so she is afraid. I'm glad that she's coming home. I'm very sad for the reason that she has to leave, as so many of our people in this country are facing the same types of judgment. And in regards to our joys, for anyone who has shared their thoughts or their joys today, we acknowledge each other. For what has been shared and for what remains in the quiet sanctuary of our hearts, we are grateful. Let us become aware of the energy that brings us together in beloved community as we share a time of silent meditation. May we open our minds and hearts to a place of quiet, to a silent prayer for the healing of pain and the comfort of love. You are invited to come forward and light a candle during the musical meditation following the silent meditation.
This congregation is a theologically diverse religious community with membership open to all who are in accord with our values, mission, and vision. Our congregation is entirely self-governed by the democratic process. One of the privileges of our free church tradition is to provide all of the financial support for our many ministries among ourselves. Generosity, therefore, is one of the spiritual values we recognize as central to our personal and institutional well-being. This month's undesignated plate offering will go towards the Quad Cities Veterans Outreach Center. In honor of the military veterans in our congregation and community, we share the undesignated portion of our weekly collection with the Quad Cities Veterans Outreach Center. This organization serves only veterans and is not connected to the Veterans Administration. No funding is received from the United States government, nor from the state. Services include a food pantry, veterans benefit counseling, housing and job assistance, free haircuts, and more. More information can be found at the website. We invite you now to participate in the blessing of giving as the usher comes among you to accept the gifts of the congregation. Please be as generous as you are able. For all of the gifts of time and treasure that you give to this congregation, with sincere gratitude, we thank you.
So In ancient mythology and the tales of the gods and the goddesses, there were 3 stages of a woman's life journey. The first is the maiden. This stage typically represents youth, innocence, new beginnings. It's a time of self-discovery, exploring one's identity, and preparing for the future. I experienced this yesterday with my granddaughter who just turned 16. She got a used new car, and before you know it, she was buzzing down the lane to show it off to me. She had forgotten to tell her parents where she was going, and as she opened the car door, she was like a bird that just found out it could fly. She was so ecstatic, and I knew that was the maiden. Everything ahead of her, hopes and dreams. The second stage is, in a big sense, the mother. This stage often involves a woman that's nurturing, caring for others, whether they're children or others or a community or a group, and building a family or community that becomes a family. It's a time of deep connection and responsibility. I experienced this as well as her mother called me and said, "Is my daughter there?" We've lost track of her, and she's had her car for like 3 minutes. And as a person in their third phase, I simply laughed because I know that's just the beginning. And that's the third stage, the crone. This stage is associated with wisdom, experience, and an inner knowing. It's a time of reflection, of sharing what you've learned, and finding peace with oneself and the world as it is. It is the task of this crone to share their wisdom gained from a lifetime of experiences and pass on to the younger generations a belief that there is light in the darkness, there is joy after sorrow, there is love that will overcome hate, and that good triumphs over evil. Before the rise of patriarchy, humans everywhere revered the goddess as the mother of all, the one who witnessed, supported, and aided birth, death, and rebirth. It was the woman who possessed the acquired knowledge, wisdom, healing skills, and moral leadership that was often relied on by their communities. Crones were revered. In many cultures, they still are. Native American cultures, as well as many Eastern Asian cultures, a woman who has aged into the phase of a crone are highly respected and revered for all they have gained through living life. Honoring elders is a profound and significant process in these cultures. It is shown in how they cherish their presence, value their perspectives, and show their gratitude to the elders, invaluable in shaping the fabric of their lives. This wisdom gathered by all of us and passed along has not come without a price. For there are telltale signs that give away a woman who has entered the crone phase. She has etched wrinkles across her face, the ones I saw in my mirror. Forever reminders of moments of laughter or of weeping or of anguish crying out, of anxiety and yet of relief, of anger and yet a seeking of forgiveness, of joys and sorrows. Her hands, they will be gnarled, possibly arthritic, from years of laboring for their family and for their community, for holding everything from a hammer to pounding a tent post for a family gathering to wiping away the tears of those who cry. Her knees will be stiff, making kneeling difficult and even harder to get up off the floor sometimes. This is from standing and rocking for hours, crying infants who are not accepting that they had to leave the womb. that is from standing for hours cooking meals to feed a hungry family, or for the 1,000 times they might leap up after sitting down for 1 minute to stop a siblings fight or to pick up someone who has fallen down. She may seem forgetful, possibly by a heart and mind filled with all the memories accumulated over the years of living the journey, full of stories, pauses where there's a remembrance of a moment of tenderness or of regret, living again an instance of being loved and loving, or something gained and then lost. These are the marks of a crone. We wear our journey on the outside as well as live it from the inside. To quote Dr. Clarissa Pincola Estes, she states, "If you weep, the crone will move closer to you. Laugh, and she wants to hear your joke. Dance, she wants to dance with you and in you. More so, she has help for the hurt heart and for the one poisoned by bitterness. And she can pull the thorn from the breast. She can tattoo your scars with flowering bows. This is the crone." Rather than talk about the crone from what others say or what I say, we are blessed today to have 6 members of our congregation willing to share their thoughts on their own journey to this crone phase of life. I am extremely grateful that they are willing to share and the embodiment of all that I talk about. I am honored to be sharing this phase of my life with you all, and all the wiser for the gifts they have shared with me. May all 6 of you come up and take a seat. What we're going to do here is first ask if anyone in the congregation might have a question. Oh, I love it. Greg, okay, perfect. Greg spoke first, so he's going to be the first one, and then we'll have Mike. And you know, then we're out of time. But first, let me... So I'm having here Carol's way that we're going to communicate, and so we're going to ask. Let's see. Is it? So, well, I want to give some. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. First, just briefly tell us your name and what, 5 seconds. You want? So, just tell us your names first.
What's the question?
Let's go down.
My name is Molly Tegland. I've been in this congregation for a long time. I participate in the community meal, the giving garden, UU singers, UU ukes, UU chimes. Music is very important to me.
You don't have a question yet, Mom.
I'm Susan Perry, and at least I thought I was supposed to say what I did with my life before I became a crone. And I was a dermatologist in the Quad Cities.
I'm Cherie Dufault. I'm the mother of 3 daughters. I've lived in Davenport all my life. Come to this church like off and on for a long time, but officially became a member like a year or so ago. And I just really am glad that I have found this church and made it my home church.
And I'm Kathy Murdy. I was born in Rock Island, lived there through college, and went to California for 50 plus years, and returned home about 8 years ago and have been attending UU since then, and I have 3 daughters.
I'm Barbara Thompson. I worked a couple of decades, usually in law offices. I have 3 children, 6 grandchildren. My husband Bill has 3, so 9. And I've been a member of the church for quite a while.
Hi, I'm Jan DeGrieve. I've been a member of this church over 20 years now. I'm married to John. We've been married 58 years just a couple days ago. Woohoo! Yeah, that does deserve a clap. We have 2 children and 7 grandchildren. I taught first grade for many years, and then stayed home a little while with our daughter. Then I went into interior design. Did I answer the big question?
Yes, okay, great.
Can I ask my question now?
Yes, please.
What is one thing you would like to share about life that you have learned about life along your journey of life?
One of the wisdom things my mother used to say, and I've thought about it since I was probably a teenager, and it, of course, is the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And as a teacher, of course, I want to jump in and fix everything. I've decided that didn't work real well, so I've tried to be more flexible. But that prayer has always spoken to me for a long time, because you really just need to make the right judgment. Can I change something? Do it. If I can't, back away.
Part of this is missing.
This one.
Oh, I see. I see it. Thank you. Yes. I used to fix things more easily when I was younger. Anyway, my wisdom that I would like to pass down. Thank you. I like what Jan said, first of all. And second of all, passing wisdom down to younger people. I have found that giving direct advice is never successful. It's just not welcome. So what I have done in the past, I try to pass down family stories that we have. My grandfather grew up in Tennessee, and when he was a young man, he came up alone to Illinois, hired out as a farmhand, and became a successful farmer. And my grandmother, other side of the family, her husband had gone ahead of her. She lived in Virginia. Her husband had gone ahead of her to seek employment in Illinois. So she sold the cook stove, packed up 7 kids into the old family car, and drove to Illinois. So I like to have those stories in the background, to know that you can do hard things and find your dream. And you've had people that have gone before you that can do that. So.
I was born in 1940, and while a baby, before much thinking or any language was available, my body absorbed the fear that was present, because everybody was afraid. We hadn't quite decided to enter World War II, but we were afraid the world was ending. And that fear, I just absorbed it and lived most of my life with it. I also had scary things, hurtful things happen in my life as I grew. But from the time I was small, I always wanted a kinder, gentler world. I wanted it at home. I wanted it at school. I wanted it anywhere I could find it. And so I started hanging out with people that were interested in that. And it provided me with a wonderful life because it connected me with great people with big hearts, very similar to what I find here. And I also love to have fun and play when I was outside the rules and regulations of the home or the school. And I've done that all my life too. And so I encourage you to keep those hopes and dreams you had as a kid and find fun and play along with it.
I turned 70 recently, so to me that was when I was younger. I thought, well, that's when I'm going to be really old, you know. And I think it feels different than I expected it to feel. And I've been thinking a lot about life recently, and one of the things I've come to see is how lucky I've been to have a life as a human being. I've been on a long journey with my religious beliefs. I've belonged to 5 different religious groups officially. And I've come to the belief that God's probably not a real thing, and that I don't think there's anything really after death. And one good thing about this church is that we're free to believe what we want, and we respect that right, you know, for everyone. So I think that after I die, I'm just going to become elemental, and all of my elements will just go back to the earth, and it's still going to be part of life, you know, in some form. And I just think that everything in life is connected. We're just, you know, all life forms are connected, and that it's just, it's a beautiful thing. And I think that, you know, because of that, we really should cherish each other more, and all life. And I think that we could really make this world a paradise if we all did that, you know, if we just really loved life and loved each other. And as far as, like, what if I'm wrong, you know, after I die and I'm standing there at the pearly gates? I've thought about that, you know, and I think that the thing is, all my life, I've tried to live on the side of love. And I think that's the most important thing. And I think, you know, God's going to be cool with that. So I would just encourage everybody to live on the side of love.
Sounds extremely Unitarian. In my life, I have learned that problems are really opportunities. My husband reminds me of this often. I have learned to look at problems as the opportunity to help solve the issue, forge a new pathway, and try to smile through it, which is not always easy. As I have aged and retired, I have also felt more free to be politically active. When working, I often didn't want to offend various patients and felt reluctant to have my name associated with protests and marches. And now I work with One Human Family, QCA, and Progressive Action for the Common Good, and feel that I can possibly make a difference. I also feel connected with young people, and I feel that that helps keep me young. It also helps me be more positive about the future. I am on the Davenport Schools Foundation Scholarship Committee and look at many applications for 56 scholarships. and we also interview many seniors who I do believe will help make our community better.
To get back to the original comment that I should have been responding to, I worked for over 40 years as a respiratory care practitioner, most of it on second shift. One thing I would like to pass on to those younger than I am: show up. I'll add some platitudes to that. Put down the smartphone, step away from the screen, be here, now. Smile at those you know, smile at those you don't know. Say hello, make eye contact. That can be scary. Make eye contact with people you don't know. You don't know what sort of response you'll get, but try anyway. Say yes as often as you can. Say no when you need to say no. Be kind. And show up.
Okay, we have another inquiring question. Mike.
What realization at this age of your life surprises you about the aging process that you never really thought about before?
What surprises me about aging? My mother, Marguerite Tegland, died in her own bed in the house she grew up in. She was 94. In the later years of her life, she would often say, "Don't get old." To me, she said, "I'd like to see you when you're 94. I'm 74. 20 more years? No." I was warned. Mom warned me. I'm not surprised by any one thing. I'm amazed by everything. The aches and pains, the hearing loss, the changes in vision and memory. After Alice asked me to participate in this service, I started looking at other people more closely. Are they older than I am? How are they adjusting to this phase in life? Look around you. I was born in 1950. Who was born before 1950? You can be my guide. And so the rest of you who were born later than 1950, we can be your guides. I'm here now. I can't know when my life will end. I guess I'll keep on being surprised by the changes and keep on with the journey.
Comment. What you said, I always took Woody Allen, I think you all know him. One of his famous quotations was, 90% of success is just showing up.
I was surprised by how quickly time passes. The older we get, the quicker it seems to go. It is hard to believe I moved here 41 years ago, joined this congregation 40 years ago, have a 31-year-old son, and have been retired for 7 years. Sometimes I keep reminding myself that I often forget to slow down and enjoy each moment. So that is what I'm trying to do as time passes much too quickly, I feel.
The surprising thing to me is how much satisfaction I have about my life's journey now. I had kind of a hard life. I had a lot of struggles. I had a lot of failures. I was sort of hard on myself because of that. But now I feel like, as you go through your life, you're going up a mountain, and you can't really see the whole thing till you get to the top. And now I'm at the top, and I can look at it, and it looks beautiful to me. And I'm proud of myself that I tried so hard, even if I didn't always make it. I'm surprised that I feel that good about everything now. I'm glad. But I think, people, they shouldn't be so hard on themselves if they're really trying to do the best they can, and if they're trying to be a good person. And I think at the end, that's really what's important. And it's just a wonderful thing to have been here. And I never thought I would feel this good about my life, but I look at it and it looks beautiful to me.
I think one of the most surprising things to me is how much fun I'm having and how much I'm learning. The people that were old when I wasn't didn't look like they were having much fun and didn't seem to be interested in learning much. And now that I'm here, I'm having a ball. One of my favorite lines is, I love being old. And there's so much to learn. Anything I'm interested in now is available to find out about. And one of the most interesting things to find out about is me and how come I did what I did through my lifetime. So at this point, one of my favorite studies is me. I'm one of the most fascinating people I know. So do what you love. Have a good time doing it.
I remember sitting on my bed when I was a kid and calculating people that I knew and thinking to myself, it's just possible I'll live to see the year 2000. And here I am. But it's surprising to me every year. We used to write checks. We don't do that anymore. But when you fill in forms online every year, that surprises me. And a couple of things about aging that surprise me. It's like fits and starts. Sometimes I feel like not getting older, and sometimes I do. If I visit with a childhood friend or somebody from high school, I cannot see them for 10 years and pick up the conversation where we left off. And to me, it's like we're all in the same boat. We're traveling on the sea of time. And we have the similar locations and time frames and teachers at school and school friends. And it feels good when you see them. And then I communicate with my grandchildren. And we do that by Snapchat or any other social media, except a phone call. That doesn't happen. And my grandson said, he used AI to create his resume. He was applying for an internship. And I just realized when I talk to them that I'm out of step in time. They're in their own boat, in their own time, with their own familiarities. And I realize that I'm getting older. Some days, I get reminders. I flex my hands in the morning and I go, well, that's sore. And it's because I'm getting older. I read obituaries. And to quote my husband, Bill, the errands we used to run on our way home from work now take all day. So, each one of those, it's surprising every time. And I'm just reminded that I'm getting older.
What I've noticed in my elder years is that back in the day, as I would say, the older people were revered. And in many civilizations or areas of the world, they still are. And I feel that has gone away here in this country. I don't know what that is, and I don't like it because there's lots of wisdom here. And I'm going to give one quote that is from Maureen. I'm sure she got it somewhere, but it's excellent. Everyone has a piece of the wisdom. None of us has all of the wisdom. And everyone has a piece of the wisdom which is different. It's my responsibility to share a piece of the wisdom where appropriate and listen to others where appropriate.
So ends our knowledge and awareness from these wonderful crones.
Okay. Thank you all. So let us now rise in body and spirit for our closing song, the words which will be on the screen, but they are not in the order of service because it never got printed. And it is, You've Got a Friend in Me. All rise as we sing this song. Let's please remain standing as Tom extinguishes the chalice and join in the unison reading on the screen and in your bulletin. Out of the darkness, light. Out of the light, warmth. Out of the warmth, joy. Out of joy, togetherness. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please be seated for our announcements.
We have several announcements. I'll read at a more rapid rate than you're used to from me. Golden Gal Lunch Brunch for all gals over 55 is Tuesday at 11:30 in the boardroom. Bring yourselves, your lunch, and the joy we share in being together. Our congregation is doing a fundraiser at Pizza Ranch on Monday, July 28th from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. We receive 7% of the sales, plus any tips and donations during that time frame. Pizza Ranch supplied us with the flyers for us to post, and we'll have flyers in the foyer, so please take a few and post them in places you frequent. They also ask that we have 10 volunteers present during that time, cleaning tables, bringing out food to the buffet, refilling drinks, and other tasks to assign to us. Let Ann Harrington or Dee Lazio know that you are willing to volunteer. Another announcement, the social justice team will meet on Tuesday, July 9th at 7 p.m. This will be on Zoom only. The link may be found on the calendar on the UUCQC website. Leadership Development meets today at 11:30 downstairs. If you are a visitor and wish to learn more about UUCQC, you are invited to a discussion group after the service this morning. Grab your coffee and join us in the boardroom at 11:14 a.m. Not 11:15, but 11:14. The session is an opportunity for you to ask questions and discuss UU with members who can answer your questions.
Don't be late.
Yes, be on time, 11:14. Final announcement. Welcome team members wants to remind you that all new church year is coming, and we are having a special hot dog lunch day on August the 10th after coffee hour. It is also the day our contest ends to see who brought the most visitors to UU this summer. If you haven't done so, please let someone from the welcome team, that's Mindy Pace, know if you brought a visitor to church and who they are. We want to hear from you and your part in the journey with UU and other people. If you have announcements for a Sunday service, please send it to the office at uucqc.org by noon on Thursday before the service. Finally, let me draw your attention to additional announcements printed on the back of your order of service. And for friends who are not here physically but online, what I do when I'm online is I go to our website and look at announcements there. Also go to uua.org and explore what's going on with UU congregations across the United States. Thank you.
As the leader of this worship, I do need to say, as you get older, you lose track of time, which has happened this morning. So I apologize, but I'm forgiven because I'm over 70. You can get away with that kind of stuff. Okay, I'd like to end our service today with a poem by Maya Angelou, and it's entitled Continue. On the day of your birth, the Creator filled countless storehouses and stockings with rich ointments, luscious tapestries, antique coins of very value, and jewels worthy of a queen's dowry, and these were all set aside for your use alone. Armed with faith and hope, and without knowing of the wealth which awaited, you broke through the dense walls of doubt and loosened the chains of ignorance which threatened to cripple you, so that you could walk a free woman into a world which needed you. My wish for you is that you continue. Continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness. Continue to allow humor to lighten the burden of your tender heart. To continue to let your eloquence elevate the people to heights they had only imagined. Continue to remind the people that each is as good as the other and that no one is beneath nor above you. Continue to remember your own young years and look with favor upon the lost and the least and the lonely. Continue to put the mantle of your protection around the bodies of the young and the defenseless. Continue to take the hand of the despised and the diseased and walk proudly with them into the high street. Some might see you and be encouraged to do likewise. Continue to plant a public kiss of concern on the cheek of the sick and the aged and the infirm, and count that as a natural action to be expected. Continue to let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer, and let faith be the bridge you build to overcome evil and to welcome good. Continue to ignore no vision which comes to enlarge your range and increase your spirit. Continue to dare to love deeply and risk everything for the good thing. Continue to float happily in the sea of infinite substance which set aside riches for you before you had a name. Continue. And by doing so, you and your work will be able to continue eternally. So says Mary Angelou. Blessed is the path on which you travel. Blessed is the body that carries you upon it. Blessed is your heart that has heard the call. Blessed is your mind that discerns the way. Blessed is the gift that you will receive by going. Truly blessed is the gift that you will become on the journey. May you go forth in peace and journey well. Amen.
Amen.
We'll now listen to the prelude.